All right. Well, welcome everyone to our Light Your Dream Team live training call. Tonight, we are going to do a Q&A on fundraising. We're in the midst of prime fundraising time. The fall, October, November here are excellent times to be working with groups to raise funds because they want to kind of use it as a gift purchasing for their supporters and participants. So it's a great time to be doing it. So I wanted to show you, you should be able to see my screen because all of the fundraising training is very detailed on our team training site. So we're not going to go into all the particulars, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions if there was something that you didn't understand or something that you might have experienced as you were beginning to do fundraisers. And sometimes, you know, even though the data is there, sometimes you just need to talk it through once you start getting into it. And then you start to go, oh, I wonder about this, or I wonder, how do I do that? So I want to just give you an opportunity to ask your questions. But before we do get into that, I want to go ahead and show you the training site. Now, this is a team exclusive site for the Light Your Dream team. And the URL is miabellatraining.com. And this is what it looks like. And here we have a specific fundraising tab. And it goes into catalog fundraisers and also the custom label fundraisers. So it's very detailed on both. Sometimes you'll have an organization that wants to do both, either at different times or the same time. But the vast majority of people are going, especially if the larger school types, you're going to be doing the classic catalog fundraiser. So all of that information is here. Here's the training that was done back in August of 22, and it goes into the email to prospect for people, to show, get interest in doing a fundraising, tracking sheets so that you can keep track of all that you're doing. And here's the flyer that is in the team files on our team, as well as the Bella Builders. You can find these documents here. So each season, there will be 15 specific cents that will be used. Now, you don't have to use these. You can totally go off on your own, but really it's some simplicity of having the company pick the top 15 cents and then creating the brochures. Here, well, I suppose you can't see it if I've got my screen on, but it just makes it very, very simple. I know I've done, when my kids were little, they'd come home with these catalogs that were like 30 pages with product after product, and it was so confusing. And you've got, you know, somebody sitting there at the door wanting you to make a decision about how you're going to support them and, you know, make a purchase. And it's just like, yeah, whatever. And that's what I love about the simplicity of ours. You get one product, the 16 ounce, and you get 15 cents to choose from. So all of this information is on the site here. This is a nice chart to use to show a group how much they can make with the number of candles they sell according to the number of participants that they have. But all the information is here. Here's the newest order forms. These can be folded in half. They're very lightweight, beautiful, full color, nicely done. So all the information is here, even how to determine the sell price. That's usually the most complicated piece, of trying to figure out what the group is going to sell the candles for. And if you just kind of think of it in terms of generalities, it's like $25 for those on the East Coast, mid-country, $26, West Coast, maybe $27. But it is going to be dependent on not only the shipping to that location, but also the sales tax. So you're going to get, like I've said, in Minnesota, we've got high taxes. So, you know, we may sell it for, you know, $26, $27, where a candle on the West Coast, maybe they've got lower tax. So maybe you can sell it for 26 instead of 27. But this kind of walks you through how to determine what you're going to have the groups sell it for. And the group is going to earn $8 for every jar that they sell. So that is kind of the basics here, but I just wanted to show you where you find all this information. So it's really recommended that you watch the training, go through the reading of the the document here, the training, and then open up each of the links to figure out what you're doing. And then you can always go to the Facebook group, Light Your Dream Team, and ask specific questions. In the Facebook group, we also have a thread where you can kind of comment on what are your efforts of attracting or prospecting for fundraising groups. So it's kind of fun when somebody comes up with an idea that somebody else might not have even thought of. You're like, oh gosh, I didn't even think of, introducing the concept to that kind of a group. So once you start reaching out, be sure to share your successes. If somebody gets back to you and says, hey, I'd like more information, let us know, share it on the group. That gets exciting for everyone. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and open it up for questions. Looks like Allison got on and then she got off. So she might be having something going on tonight, so no problems. But thank you all who are on the call live. So go ahead. If anybody has a question, what do you need more clarification on? If you're muted, you just want to unmute your speaker so that I can hear you.
I'm here, Kathy. I was having a problem getting in.
Yeah, no problem. I saw you come in quick and then I didn't see it, but I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Okay. All right. Anybody have a question? I'm going to call you out. Who's on the call that has been prospecting for fundraisers? Who has been spending the last couple of months reaching out to groups?
Hi, Kathy. It's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. Yes, I was just going to say that training site is amazing. I printed as much stuff as I could and put in a little binder for all the information, but it's fantastic. Everything's just plain and simple. So thank you for that.
Well, good.
Yes.
Glad that somebody.
Yes, it was good. And the videos. Thank you, Allison, for your video too. It was fantastic.
Oh, you're welcome, Michelle.
My only question is, I think I've read it. I just want to confirm that we are allowed to do out-of-state fundraisers. I know it gets a little bit more tricky since the group is not locally and we have to do different things, but would you recommend? Have people done it? Is it something that we always do?
Yes. Back in the day, we didn't used to do that. It was very much, localized. Whenever I would get a lead coming in, I would try to give it to a team member in that state. But in the last couple of years, with the change to more emphasis on doing fundraising and some of the new distributors that came in, we really are not limiting it to local. You can prospect outside of your state. It is nice if it's local in that you could meet with them face to face. You can drop off the fundraising brochures, the order forms, if you've ordered directly from the company and have them on hand. Like I have a dance studio that will be starting here in November. So, I'll deliver to them the order forms, and then I can be a little bit more elaborate, and put it in an envelope for them, right, labels on and things like that. Then the product can be shipped to me and I can check it. I can put my own like website label on the jar,
right.
Out to customers. You can sort it by participant. So there's a lot more that you can do for the group when it is local. You can put it in little bags, dress it up a little bit, put in maybe a little postcard that tells them a little bit more about maybe buying wholesale or being able to find you again once that supporter burns the candle, loves the candle, wants to find out how to get more.
Yeah.
There's definitely some advantages for it being local, but no longer do we eliminate it from being out of state. I did one that was actually in Pennsylvania. He went to the company and picked up the fundraisers and ended up actually picking up the product too. So, I've got two others. One again, actually both of them are on the East Coast. So once they let me know how many order forms they want, I'm just going to drop ship it right from the company and right to the coordinator. Once and then they're on the site, there is the master order form where the coordinator is going to put together all of those order forms from all of their participants and give us the distributor one order. This is how many of the holiday pears, how many of the hot apple pies. So they're gonna, and they fill it out. So if there's any mistakes, it's kind of, on them. They are gonna fill out the total master. So that all is done by email. They send it to me. I put my order in through the company and then have the product drop shipped to them. Now, the disadvantage is that, I'm not there to sort the product, so they'll have to do that. If there's any issues with any broken jars, if there was unfortunately something to happen, they would have to, contact me, and we would have to get that, replaced. But by all means, now we are not limiting it to being in your local community. You can certainly do out of state. I've done it several times.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question, because it is kind of a change from what we used to do in the earlier days.
Yes.
Hi there. I have a question.
Sure.
So I have two fundraisers coming up, one for a dance team at a high school and one for a neighborhood dance studio. That studio has about maybe 55 kids. It's for their dance company.
Yeah.
And the high school has, I think she has about 18, 19 kids. So my question is, when, and they're both local, when the candles come in, do you give them all bulk, like, say 30 some, pumpkin spice, and then, or do you break them up individually for each student?
Yeah, and that's something that you can, work out with the coordinator, how much they want to be involved.
Mhm.
The more you do, the nicer it is. But, most of the groups, they know how to do fundraisers, and they've
Mhm.
done it before. And so, if it's coming to me, and if I
Mhm.
have the individual order forms, which you may not always have, if the coordinator doesn't turn in everybody's individual orders, you're not going to know which participant has which scent. So,
Gotcha.
delivering the product as a whole to them,
Mhm.
they've ordered, 15 hot apple pie, 20 cranberry, you're just going to deliver it. And then they'll need to work with the order forms that they have to sort it
I
by.
just didn't know. This is my first time doing any fundraisers, so I just didn't know like what was customary, and it just happens to be both for my daughter's groups, so I'll probably just put them together anyway, and
Well, the
be
one
nice.
thing that's so great about Sensations is it's nice to have guidelines, and
Mhm.
especially something that you've never done before. It's easier if someone's telling you what to do, but it's your business, and you really can do whatever you want.
Right.
There's no really right or wrong way. So it's a matter of what you and the coordinator, work out. If they're, your daughter's studio where you're going to be there and, be present and know the coordinator, and they give you the 18, total
Mhm.
orders of those participants, then you can certainly divide that up and deliver it back to the studio by participant. If they say, no, just have it all shipped to the studio, we'll do it. So again, there's just no right or
Mhm.
wrong way. Whatever you guys work out to be best for you and the group.
Mhm. Now I am doing 16-ounce candles, but can you also do 8-ounce, like for the future? Can you just do 8-ounce, or does it have to be the 16-ounce?
Well, no, and if you're going to be using the company provided order forms, it only
Right.
is going to be 16-ounce, and only in those 15 cents. You can
Right.
certainly create your own, pictures and descriptions if they want to use different scents. If they want to use the 8-ounce, you can. In the custom labels, you can put it on the 16-ounce or the 8-ounce.
Right.
So
Right. I knew that. Okay.
business, whatever you guys want to work out. If they say, yeah, we just want to do 8-ounce jars and we only want to do it in 3 cents, great. You
Like, I'm just
do that.
another, like, I haven't done anything like events, and that's the one thing where I really I see all these other distributors doing like candles for like a 1-day event, and that's the one thing
Mhm.
I'd really, does anybody have any insight on that and how that works?
Yeah, we have some training on that on the site as well, doing vendor
Okay.
show. And so in terms of this call being about fundraising, when you're doing those, have out flyers, the order forms. So with the order form and the brochure are kind of the same, or the flyer that I showed you originally.
Mhm.
have that on the table, make it, known that you can do fundraisers. And if, some of these shows, if, they're kind of coming up and you see some kid in some soccer uniform or something, you could certainly
Mhm.
bring that, topic up. Hey, I see that you play soccer, we have a great fundraising program. Have you ever done
Oh,
anything?
yeah, no, I'm talking like specifically, like say there was a um fundraiser for breast cancer awareness and some specific charity, and they had like custom candles made. Like, how do you, say they want 300 candles or something like that, but
Yeah.
yet it's a charity. So like, how do you charge them, but yet it's a fundraiser? Like, that's where I'm confused.
Well, again, it would
Like,
depend on if you're doing, custom label, you do have to have the
right,
group purchase it up front, and it does get tricky because you don't always know how many candles to
right.
order. So we did that, like my daughter's sorority, they had a philanthropy day and we had like 3 cases of the custom label on hand that we, purchased up front and then sold at the event. And the same thing, then, the candles sell for $25 and then the sorority earned their $8 and then they gave
Okay.
it to the philanthropy group that they support.
Okay, so they would just upfront the cost then. I guess that's what my main
On
concern
custom
was.
label.
Like,
Yeah.
right, okay.
if if you were just kind of selling from your inventory, whatever you had on hand, again, that wouldn't necessarily have to coincide with the order
Mhm.
form that the company provides. You could just sell from whatever your stock is and then keep
Right.
$8 of that profit that you would then turn over to the group.
Yeah. I guess it's in my head. I tried to do this with a dance studio last year for their show, and
Yeah.
they kind of were like, well, you can do it and buy the candles and sell it, and like they didn't want to put up the
Yeah.
cost because the whole
Yeah.
point was for them to make money. So I was like, well, how
Yep.
do you get the the organizations to do that?
Yeah,
So
and
that's
that's
all.
why I'm kind of saying at the beginning of the call that you
Mhm.
won't often get them wanting to do the custom label because it is an upfront cost. And
Right.
it can be several $100s if you're ordering several cases of it.
Mhm.
They'd rather be able to take orders. And so, yeah, at a show like that, it would be a little different. You could certainly do that as well. If somebody wanted to order,
Mhm.
you can place the orders and bring it to them later. But in those situations, yeah, I mean, I would just have, again, if you can try to have in stock the 15 cents that are the top selling, that's why
Mhm.
those 15 are used, have enough of those on hand. But again, you can sell from any stock that you would have. And then, yeah, they're not paying for that stock up front.
Mhm.
You're just then going to over the $8 to them from whatever you sold.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Anybody else?
Kathy, I just wanted to add, Dana, I have a couple dance studios going now, and I have a big cheer team that I work with, and this is the second year for all of these. And I have found over time that these groups, everybody's so busy, and they really appreciate when I do break them down by the seller. Um, instead of having the shipment, have them do it.
Right.
I've heard back from so many of the dance studios that they really, really appreciate the time
Mhm.
that they didn't have to put into this
Right.
fundraiser.
Yeah,
And
I'll
that's what
probably do
made them
that.
so happy. So if they're local, I would definitely try to break everything down and sort by seller because it
Okay.
saves them a lot of time.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to add about out of state fundraiser. I mean, if somebody's out of state, what I've been doing lately, like I have a dance studio going now, and she asked if there's some people that were out of state that can order for the fundraiser. And I said, sure. And I went ahead and set up the home party link, and it ties to that Dance Quest fundraiser. And so when the order comes through, it has their name. So I let her know. I just make a snipping tool copy and send it to her of that order and what their commission's going to be off that order. So they can actually do out of state, even though it's a local fundraiser, by using the home party link.
Right, but you do want to discuss with them that their profit would be
Is,
most likely less than the
yes,
$8. You only make the 25%, commission. So
right.
they can certainly purchase from the link. I would try to encourage only those out of state from the group, like family that they might have elsewhere that want to support it. I wouldn't try to have
Mhm.
the local people be purchasing from that. They need to use the order forms that they turn in, to the participant who then turns into the coordinator, because the profit is going to be less ordering online than doing it.
I believe it's 525 they get online, and I make sure that they're aware of that. And so these
Right.
are just for like, relatives out of state that just want to
Mhm.
help out the group. Yeah.
Yep, good point.
But hmm
I have a question.
Yes.
So how do they pay you?
Well, they're going to collect from their supporters any way that they want. So they could take cash, they can take checks, they can take Venmo. So like when we did the 1-day event with my daughter and them being young college students, most of them wanted to pay with Venmo. So they just really, she was the VP of philanthropy. So they all Venmoed it to her. Then she gave it, to me minus the profit that she was then going to write a check to the domestic violence that they support. So the group is going to calculate up all of what they sold minus the $8 that they earn, and then they're going to give the distributor one check.
Oh, okay.
One check is going to come to us, and so you might want to wait until that clears. A lot of the schools, that's the only way that they will make payment to us is through a check. But you certainly could have a group pay you through Venmo, something like that. But it's usually they're gathering all of the funds and then they're paying the distributor with one check minus their $8 profit.
And when you put the order in, are you putting it in like buy 11 and get the 12th half price? Are you putting it in that way? Or are you just
Yeah.
putting it in straight?
Well, you're not going to be ordering in the back office. You need to email in the distributor order form to the company.
Oh, okay. So
Part
it's
of that
different.
is that they want to track how much of their sales are being associated with a fundraiser, but then it also gets priority. So if it gets down to where, maybe one of the cents is getting low or something, those fundraisers are going to get first priority. So you're going to get a master copy from the coordinator, and then you're going to use a different order form. And those are all on the training site, but you're going to list out then for the company what you want to order. And then they will, do the 11, get one half off,
Okay.
which helps, improve your profit, because with the fundraisers, obviously the distributor isn't making the bulk of the money, the group is. And the idea is that we are to help others and, make a difference for them. But again, it's the subsequent stuff that comes from it, like Allison doing a fundraiser a second time. Where I've done fundraisers for a dance studio, and one of the moms then said, oh gosh, let's do this for the 6th grade class. So it's what prospects that you get for further business, whether it's a fundraiser or a distributor or, additional orders once they fall in love with the product.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Right. And even though you're making only say 250 a candle, but when that group sells 100 candles, you still make a decent amount of money. And those are all people that you don't even know. And
Yeah.
so you get your labels on those candles and get them out there, and you're going to get repeat orders from people that you don't even know because of the fundraiser. So the profit doesn't seem like it's much, but when you get bigger volumes coming through, say like you get an order for 300 candles, I mean, that's a pretty good profit for the distributor too. And usually the bigger orders, I like to do little giveaways, like I'll do a little, maybe the top 3 sellers, give them some, depends on their age, ice cream or whatever it is, gift cards, little incentives.
Sure. Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then when you're figuring the price of the candle, you're just kind of estimating, because you obviously don't know how many candles they're going to sell, but you just go into
Mhm.
the back office and put in a mock order and I'll usually, I'll put in 12 jars. What is the shipping for 12 jars? Each individual. What is the shipping for 72 jars? And then just kind of get an idea. And that's what you basically quote them. But if it turns out to be, yeah, a fairly nice fundraiser where they're ordering more than 72, then you're going to get a little bit of a cushion on that profit, because you had kind of quoted one price, but the more they order, the lower the shipping is. So that half off of a jar or a little bit of less in the shipping kind of makes up for some of the, like the order forms that the distributor has to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
What else?
Hi, it's Michelle again.
Okay.
Okay, you mentioned that we can do the other size, the 8-ounce jar, and meal melts. Is that an option also? You said we can
You
just
could, yeah, you certainly could.
okay.
But again, none of those products are going to be listed on the company order form.
Right.
It's only going to be the 16 ounce. So if you are really wanting a professional, nice looking order
Right.
form that the groups are kind of accustomed to seeing, then it's going to be just the 16. But if
Okay.
you do have a group that says, we're in a lower income area and we really can't do a $25-$6 jar, any way that we could do the 8-ounce, or is there any way that we could do just the melts? Yeah, you can certainly do that. You just have to figure out how you're going to display it. Are you going to print up
Right.
form with
And
some
do we
pictures?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, do we have a breakdown of the profit that they would get? We get the $8 for this 16 ounce. Do we have somewhere where
No, not a standard amount. You can work with your upline to kind of figure out if that is the case, how that would play out. So
okay.
yeah, it wouldn't be a full $8, but yeah, we can help you out what would work for that area and what you're able to sell it for.
Okay. And then with the master order form, obviously if we do something else other than the 16 ounce, is not going to be what that order form we send to corporate, but if we send like one that we make up, that'll be okay.
Yeah, I would still email it in so that they can keep it separate as part of a fundraiser, but you can just explain that, yeah, I did my own, we did 8 ounces, and they understand that, so that they're not trying to fulfill the order with 16 ounces.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, we got about 9 minutes left on the call recording. So any other questions? You guys are doing a great job. Good questions. And honestly, it seems harder until you do it. It's like you read it and you think, okay, I got this. Now I'm going to go out and do it. And then once you get into the process, then it's like, oh gosh. So it's okay to talk it out with your sponsor or Allison and I, and just kind of work your way through it until you understand it. And then once you've done one, especially after 2, you got it. It becomes very easy. And like I said, you can't do anything wrong. You can pick and choose, and if a group wants to do something that seems a little different than what's typical, then that's fine. Work with them so that they're happy. And if they're asking you things that you aren't sure of, then that's, again, when you go to your upline and say, okay, this is what they're presenting. Is this possible? How can we do this for them? So you got support to come up with the answers to make it work for everybody.
For sure. Kathy was there for me when I first started. I didn't know what I was doing. I was all nervous, and she walked me through the numbers, and I got my first fundraiser under my belt. And after that first one, it became so much easier, more and more every time. You learn a system, you learn how to sort and rearrange your home so you could have your candle space. And really, I don't have a big house or a big living room, but I was able to fit 300 something candles in there. I put a couple card tables up, I sorted them out. You have to be really organized and have a system. And once you have that system, you can go ahead and pack those orders up in no time. So it's really not that hard. You just got to get one or two under your belt and you're going to be fine.
Yes, for sure. And also, kind of overestimate the amount of time that it's going to take for them to receive the candles. We know that the company tends to ship within 24 to 48 hours. They're on it and they're getting it out. But again, this is coming upon the holidays. So, FedEx is going to get busier and it's going to take some more time to get there. It's just the craziest thing. I have somebody down in Texas that I drop shipped a single order form and a jar so that he could try it out before making, a final decision about going ahead with a fundraiser. And then I had sent a whole packet of the order forms, and the first set never got there. The first jar broke on the truck when they were about ready to deliver it. So we had to reorder that candle. Again, that was just a prospecting jar, but, give yourself time, build in time. If it's on the East Coast, maybe 2 weeks. On the West Coast, just tell them that it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. It's most likely never going to take that long. You're going to have the product shipped, to yourself in no time at all, but you need to account that, it may take me a couple of days to sort this stuff. And if there is something that breaks or something that happens that maybe, and the company's, awesome about getting it right. But, if all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I'm one, pumpkin apple short, I need to, reorder that. So just give yourself enough time. And then when you achieve less than the 2 weeks, then they're going to be really, really happy about that. But, a lot of them, the schools and the dance studios and all of those kinds of groups, they're not going to be in session up until the end of December. So I'm encouraging them that they need to have these fundraisers done by like the first week in December. Get it through Thanksgiving where they have time to, meet with family and friends over the holidays and get the orders, and then give the coordinator enough time to get to the whole master order. But you don't want to be pushing the end of the fundraiser right up to days before they're going to, be going home for the holidays. So give yourself plenty of time so that everything works out, so that they're, not disappointed if something were to not go well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for being on the call, and what great questions. Looks like the recording is going. So once that all processes, I'll put that on the group and then on the training site as well, so that others can learn from your great questions, or you can go back and revisit it. But I just really encourage you to just jump in and do it, because, one, it's going to make you money. It's going to help the group, but it's also going to give you points towards the trip, the top earners trip. The way to earn that is you really have to engage in fundraising. Even with Allison and I being kind of top recruiters in the company, that's not enough. Our individual sales and our recruiting isn't enough to earn the top achievers trip. You really need to have large volumes, and the only way you can get these large volumes is through fundraising. And you've seen several successful fundraisers that have completed here in the company where the groups earned like $5,000 and $6,000. It's just amazing what can be done. But even if one comes in with 25 candles sold, that's 25 new people that have been exposed to your product. So any exposure is awesome. So please seriously consider engaging in fundraising and ask the questions if you're nervous and just need us to walk it through with you. And then share with us when you get somebody that says, yes, we want to do this. Send us those order forms. We're ready to hop in. And then, share with us what their results are and how, successful they were in earning the funds to, meet their mission, what their needs are. So it's an awesome opportunity that Sensations, allows us to have this method of building our businesses. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it a night then. So thank you so much for being on the call. I appreciate you all. And please just ask if you have any questions. I'm excited to see the results coming in the next couple of months. So, all right, y'all take care.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye.